That's not my outfit.
It's Death by Monsters.
Ho, ho, holy shit, it's Christmas.
You ain't wrong, baby.
And this is Death by Monsters, the show about monsters, mysteries, and Christmas. That's the tagline. That's always been the tagline. It's the Mandela effect, if you remember it differently, where each week it's Christmas and we talk about Christmas.
Yeah, it's never... Sometimes people say that this podcast is about, like, the unknown,
Ridiculous.
but it has never been about that. It's always been about Christmas.
You think there's year-round Christmas podcasts? Probably.
Yes.
Someone out there does it.
There are year-round Christmas stores, so there must be year-round
guess that's
Christmas
true.
podcasts.
But why? It's so weird.
Because of the joy of the season. Why not?
Because it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Nope. Stop that right now.
I will not.
I am joined, of course, by my friends Paula Deming, Nicholas Murphy, and Michael Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh!
I've decided to stop introducing Michael as a special guest for some reason.
Because he's not a special guest. He's a part of this podcast, basically.
He's not special anymore. I'm so sorry, Mike, that happened to you.
That's true.
You're just normal, like us.
Yeah, I
Worthless
knew when he
normal
did the
person.
special lengthy intro that he would resent me for it, and it would just become like, and this schlub here is now I'm obligated to. Happy to be here, though.
Well, it's lovely to have you here. Also, something to do with cute animals of some kind. You magical multitude of moonlit mice and one skunk.
Wait, who's the skunk?
Who could say?
That's the mystery of today's episode.
I almost got too real for a second, but I decided not to.
So this, if you haven't already guessed with your evolved humanoid brain, is a special episode. But it's not just special because of Christmas, or as I like to call it, the loneliness amplifier. It's special because it's Nick's birthday.
Yay! It's my birthday.
And here on Death by Monsters, if it's your birthday, you get to choose the topic. And Nick chose Mushroom Santa.
That's right.
Which was a throwaway line from our Dyatlov Pass episode. And now I've gone further down this rabbit hole than most.
I'm so excited. I've been intrigued by this one since you mentioned it that one time, and I found out that this is like a real thing. And so when you got your birthday episode, I was like, oh, I know what my birthday, because it makes sense. My birthday, by the way, is December 21st. Our PayPal is rosemurphy@gmail. And so, but nonetheless, it's very close to Christmas, and so my birthday is usually along with Christmas, which is very annoying. But and so I was like, oh, it's got to be Mushroom Santa. Instantly, it's got to be Mushroom Santa because I need to know. I need to know why Santa is not real.
Should we give a warning to any children listening to this podcast? I hope that you rewind, go back in time, and don't listen to the sentence that Nick just said if you're a child listening to this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a child listening to this podcast, you fucking shouldn't be.
I was just about to do that. I was about to be like, fuck you. No.
And Nick, if you just open up this little baggie with these dried mushrooms in here, you're going to find out just how real Santa is.
I bet.
Matthew, great gift, by the way. So go ahead and pop those.
You got it.
So we've all finished our specially brewed tea.
Yes, exactly.
Also, Mike, you need to get thinking because, it's your birthday is around this time of year as well, right?
Oh. I was going to say, as Mike's is coming up.
Wow,
His
Mike's
is
going to get a birthday episode too.
exactly 3 weeks after mine.
It's not going to air. It's just he's going to rattle off a couple of fun facts for me for 35 minutes. I'll say some hee-haws and it will have gone nowhere. I will think on it.
Let me start by saying this. If you have a YouTube channel and you hate Christmas because you're too pious, kindly go fuck yourself. I ran into a lot of videos this past couple of weeks where it's just one man in a garage in front of a whiteboard declaring that God loves him the most and calls everyone wearing a Christmas hat a corporate satanic slut.
What?
And if that's how you feel about Christmas, that's fine. But fuck you.
You found multiple of these?
Oh my God, so many people who are just like Coca-Cola and Santa Claus and satanic sluts.
What?
I mean-
Because of commercialization?
Because it's not about God anymore, because it's about Santa?
Well, okay, but who really thinks that Jesus was born on December 25th? I don't.
No, no one does.
I think he was born, but on December 25th, probably not.
Almost definitely not. For reasons I can't remember if I get into later, but definitely I know about.
I'll back off a little bit so that you can have your moment
Jesus.
later, possibly.
Oh, this literal next sentence. And a quick caveat to this episode.
Yes.
It's very well documented that Christmas, as we know it, is the amalgamation, repurposing, and in many cases, covert celebration of more than one religion, faith, or belief, those being Yule, Saturnalius, and the birth of sweet, sweet baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus.
Here at Death by Monsters, we couldn't give a goddamn what you believe or celebrate as long as you aren't hurting, demeaning, or in any way attacking anyone else. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Don't be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Straight.
I fully agree.
That was probably the most wholesome goddamn I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, that filled up my heart, the way you used that. That was
I
beautiful.
felt a little like, well, I didn't sign off on this particular use of GD myself, but I sign off on the rest of the sentiment.
Fair.
That's important. The messaging is there.
In this week's show, we're going to be taking a look at some of the slightly more strange traditions, myths, and folklore that surround the season. And I'll be honest, we're going to get a bit loose with it.
I like that you say that every episode, like it's some surprise. Like, this one's going to get a little weird. Like,
wait, you don't always stay on topic? It's like, yes, we're always on topic.
I'm not going to say all buttoned up like usual.
We're always on topic. Let's do this 25-minute improv scene. Yeah, one final caveat. Nick, Paula, and Mike are all recording in the same room, and it's a diseased room full of sick people.
That's true.
Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
It was 1943, and the bells of the Western Front silenced as the Nazi advance decimated yet another fortification. Sorry, I mean, gonna get loose with it.
I was immediately sucked into that story. I was
Santa
like,
dropped in.
I was
with a
entranced.
flamethrower.
I was like, oh, this is about to get real as fuck.
We all know that Yule log, that weird chocolate cake that no one really eats, but you have to go and get one, otherwise you aren't doing Christmas, right?
no, we don't all know that.
I want
You know
to
what a
eat
Yule
one
log
of
is?
these so bad from watching the Great British Bake Off, the Christmas episodes. I want one of these. It's like
Wait.
a chocolate cake thing. It's crazy.
I've
I
seen
thought the Yule log was a thing that you like burned for like pagan spiritual reasons,
it's
not like a
cake.
treat you ate.
It's what one of the, the three people brought Jesus gifts. It's like one of them brought a Yule log.
No, they
right?
didn't.
Are you sure? It was gold, myrrh, and a Yule log. What was the third one then?
Sir, no, it was Frankenstein.
Here's my friend. He's the fourth guy. And I think
He needs some healing, and we heard that one day this baby might be able to do that. So
Damn it, Paula, you just beat me to my joke.
It's like also Frankenstein got brought back from the dead, so it's
That's
kind of
so
like,
good.
this is also kind of going to be you.
that's
in
what
like
inspired
32
Jesus
years.
to do Lazarus.
Blasphemy, blasphemy.
It worked great that last time the villagers burnt down the whole town. Well, the Yule log is the remnants of a Scandinavian tradition where on December 21st you go get a big old stump.
That's my birthday.
Yeah.
The winter solstice.
Bring it back to Festival Hall, set it on fire, then you eat until it's burnt out.
Will you eat it while it's burning? Oh, no, you don't eat the log. Never mind. Continue.
No, you have a feast with the log as the centerpiece warming the festival hall.
That makes more sense, Matthew.
And each spark that comes off the log represents a different animal born to the village that coming year.
Oh, that's lovely.
And it's believed that possibly the earliest representation of a Christmas tree is actually ancient Egypt.
Really?
Where they would bring in the green boughs and palms of a palm tree into the house to celebrate the winter solstice as Ra, the sun god, overcame his illness and weakening and began to return to strength as the days begin to lengthen. And the Vikings did the same thing, bringing evergreens in to celebrate Odin's return from Valhalla once a year to do some good old-fashioned smiting.
Well, it sounds like we're using Christmas trees for the wrong holiday then. We should be bringing evergreens in for Easter if it's always to celebrate your God's return. Like Easter is when Jesus came back. So forget the eggs and the bunnies. That's when we should have the pine trees.
super pumped you're back, Jesus. Here's a dead tree.
You like it?
Fix it.
Thanks for coming back from the dead, Jesus. I killed something for you.
Yeah, exactly. We know you'd appreciate it.
In Rome, it was Saturnalia, which is about as Roman as a festival could get, where they just get wasted for like a whole month. And for a limited time each year, they turned the social norms upside down, while on December 25th, celebrating the birth of Mithra, the child god of the sun.
I'm sorry, Mothra, the enemy of Godzilla?
Yeah, pretty much.
And he likes to fly toward the sun because moths like light. So it all checks out.
Makes sense.
And that's how Icarus came about.
Icarus was the one that brought the radiation to Greece.
Exactly.
As a quick one-off mention, This is the main reason that Christmas is in December. It's not because anyone's beliefs are right or wrong. It was a 4th century co-op introduced by the Roman Church to lessen the importance of the pesky and persistent pagan worship. But as no one really has a clue what day the historical Jesus would have been born on, though most likely in the spring when the shepherds would have been watching their flocks by night, it was a useful tool. It doesn't mean that Christianity is a lie. It just means that the celebration of Christmas itself was used as a tool of the church at the time.
Yeah.
To get that out.
It's like a lot of religions kind of assimilate certain things from other religions to make the transition easier for the people they just conquered or whatever. It's like, it makes sense. It's like, oh, we will just put this here. And people will be like, all right, man, we'll still talk about trees.
Also, as someone who does believe in Jesus, I don't think it matters. I don't think Jesus cares when we celebrate his birth as long as we do it at some point.
Brahms, yeah.
So that's what I think.
I totally agree with you. And it's just that, right? Around the Western world, at least, while Christianity took hold, phasing out, to put it very mildly, the pagan beliefs.
Gently phasing out other religions.
Through just encouragement and, just real good.
By truly spreading the love of God and his grace toward us, that's really what won people over.
Just persuasion. Just gentle persuasion.
I love what you're doing. I love what you're wearing, that whole little dance you're doing. That's great. But those 3 very specific names you're using, change those.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Change those right up.
We're just going to have this thing called a nativity scene. There's going to be a baby in a basket, and it's going to be about that guy now. That's the only change. It's the only change. Don't ask any questions about it. We'll lop your head off. But that's the only, for now, that's all you got to worry about. There's this guy and 2 people and a camel and some wise folk.
And Yule logs.
Exactly. A lot of the time, the people with pagan beliefs, people were fine with it, which is a massive oversimplification. But I want to get onto the weird and freaky stuff, so I'm glossing over the slaughter. But one thing people were not fine with was giving up their festivals, because it has to be said, but everything that Christianity may have provided, and even to those that believe that eternal life is within that list of pros, the one thing it lacked distinctly was having a bit of fun. And that's something that the pagans knew a lot about.
Yeah, they partied a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the pagans just wanted to get absolutely wrecked on sweet, sweet peyote.
Yeah, that's all they wanted. They built Stonehenge with their bare hands. They got all hopped up on peyote overnight. They just grabbed all those stones from whales and just dragged them over.
These stones are blue, dude. Drag them over.
Dude, it's be great, man.
There's stones there. We don't need to take this.
It's what the stones want. They told me this is where they want to be.
Yeah.
Drag them over here, man.
The Romans are like, man, if they ever turn this peyote field rage towards us, we're screwed. We gotta assimilate these people into our culture. Use that to fight off whoever the Romans were fighting.
Everyone?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But look, if you want your Coca-Cola Christmas with your turkey dinners, that's right, we eat turkey at Christmas, all right? Every day in Britain's a new adventure. Or I suppose in this case, hold on, get ready for this, Advent. Yeah.
Whatever.
I hate you.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I'm just saying, if you want your Fifth Avenue glittery Christmas, like the one that's portrayed in the commercials for 2 months to guilt mothers into doing things they can't afford for their family, otherwise the magic of Christmas will die, that's fine. But for me, that's not the best Christmas.
The best Christmas for you is when the Lexus is in front of your door with a big giant red bow on top of it.
That is the true definition of happiness. Sure. I've been sold that my whole life, and I believe it. Yeah.
I mean, there's no denying, if someone bought me a Lexus, I would be happy. Yeah. I would immediately sell it and buy a sensible car, like a Honda Accord.
And then use the extra leftover money to just pack that trunk with some Coors Banquet.
Yeah, exactly. You know who can afford a Honda Accord? Honda, hit us up. Give us a Honda Accord.
Days.
I know, gosh. Helpful Honda people, we have not heard from you yet.
And this on the very first day of Honda Cup.
No.
But for me, that's not the best Christmas, right? And it's certainly not the most creative. For my reckoning, Scandinavia do it best, and Iceland do it the weirdest. So say goodbye to St. Nick and hello to the Yuletide lads.
Ooh.
Yes.
That sounds like a dance group.
Jarlsveneer, a group of 13 mischievous trolls who one by one come down from the mountains to to town to cause some Christmas fear for
I
everyone.
was like, this is a nightmare.
Weird shit happens when the sun doesn't rise for a long time.
That's so true.
In 1746, people were banned from tormenting their children with the sinister stories of the Yule Lads. Think of them as the Seven Dwarfs, but they are all called Grumpy, Dickhead, Weird Al, Bastard Man, Pervy, Spooky, and Prick.
I feel like this is the true origin story of like the Elf on the Shelf. You know,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's Steck Yacht Store, which does sound a bit like a futuristic dinosaur, but it's not. You may know him as Sheep Coat Clod, who goes around trying to suckle on ewes and harassing sheep left unattended by farmers.
What?
But don't worry too much, because he's slowed down by his stiff peg legs.
I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm sorry.
God.
Wait, what? What does this creature look like? Is this a humanoid?
Wait, he has peg legs? He has 2 peg
Yeah,
legs?
does he go like clacking down cobblestones on these like weird peg
What
legs?
is he
That
trying
is
to suckle?
Terrifying.
Ewes.
Like children?
No, not
no.
youths. Ewes.
Oh,
Like,
youths. Like sheep. I thought you were saying the youths.
they're going there trying to suckle on the youths.
Like, what the fuck? Straight up. What the fuck?
That I can now see why banning these stories has been a thing, because they're like, yo, this peg-legged troll is going to come suckle on our youths. I would never sleep again.
Click, 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 click. Oh, shit, here he comes.
Oh, God. Everyone protect our youths.
There are many more of these, so let's go through.
Oh, Lordy.
Stubby likes to steal the food from frying pans.
Do they come in at night? Is there a specific time they tend to haunt? Because if they steal food from frying pans, not that many people are frying in the middle of the night.
But every stoner out there is going to have his bacon snatched. And he's going to be bummed out by it.
That's my
Are
guess.
you meant to like leave like, ooh, we better leave something in the frying pan tonight for old whatever his name was, so that he doesn't come and murder us in our beds?
Guess anyone? Any guesses what spoon licker does?
Does he lick spoons?
Yeah, it just licks spoons.
Okay, well,
All spoons? Like, does a ladle count? Or is it just like common domestic spoons?
Well, I'm not sure actually, because there's Potseslickleur, there's Askerslicker and
Oh.
Hoposlickleur, and that's pot scraper, bowl licker, and door slammer, which are all pretty self-explanatory. Those three.
Just one dude slamming a door over and over and over.
Goose, the other one's opening up all the cabinets, licking the bowls. Get it, get it, get it. All right, you slam the doors. All right, go, go, go.
But if you've got a ladle, I'm not sure if that would be for bowl licker or spoon licker, or whether they'd share.
that's a good. They both better lick it just to be
Oh,
safe.
God, that's awkward. Would they look at the same time? To each one takes a side? This is
It seems
bad.
appropriately horrifying.
Yeah.
Also, they're the first people to ever come into town going, lads,
Yeah,
lads,
lads.
lads, lads, lads. There's Sky Gamore, who just loves yogurt.
That's it?
There's a brand of yogurt in Britain, which is Icelandic yogurt. It's called Skyr, and it's spelt the same as Skyr Gamore. So I guess Skyr is just Icelandic for yogurt, I think.
I was going to
That
say,
sounds
that's
nice.
that guy's the baby Yoda of the group. They're going to brand that dude, and they already have.
So already that weird you sucker is like, that's the one that's really the outlier so far. Everyone else is kind of like, yeah, he licks bowls sometimes, but Greg's cool. You know, like,
Yeah, most of them are just kind of properly mischievous.
Yeah, like Sausage Swiper. He just hides in the rafters, stealing the sausages as they smoke.
see?
Could be worse.
I don't like that
What
first one.
prompted these stories to come into existence? Like, what kind of mischief? Like, did a gang run through this town and steal everyone's food? And they were like, what happened? I guess it was a band of crazy trolls. Like, what's happening?
I think most of them can be attributed to like a drunken father who like comes in late, smashes things, slams the doors, eats their kids' breakfast. Next day, he's just like, "Oh man,
Oh no! I
sausage swiper."
guess some trolls came in here. I don't know what happened. And they're like, but Papa, what happened to our Christmas sausage? And
Like,
he's like,
listen here, leave the sausage alone, or I'm gonna get a little peg leg around here and come suckle all of you, huh?
Papa, it's Christmas morning.
Do you want a nightmare for Christmas?
I don't like
That's what
being
you're
in the
gonna get.
middle of this. This is really I'm in the middle of these two, and so they're both awkwardly staring past me while this dialogue is going on, and I really didn't like that at all.
That's the point, is that they can really make your Christmas nice, or I can make it a hellish dreamscape.
I think as well, one thing that prompts these stories is the vast and endless whiteness of the tundra and the boredom that would probably...
Yeah, there's not much to do up there during the winter.
Sat on a frozen lake thinking, oh, would it be funny if there was like a spoon licker just coming around? Weird.
Yeah, pretty much.
None of them were quite as fun as Window Peeper.
Ooh, that one's a little too real.
He's one of the more problematic trolls, but he's just looking for things to steal. That's the same with Doorway Sniffer. He just wants to steal Larfa bread, which is like a Christmas flatbread. Any idea what Meat Hook does?
Murders people.
He's like the
Guts
Candyman.
kids.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh.
It's like I know you did last summer. That guy who kills with a hook, I think, right?
Mm.
They've all been completely analogous with what they actually do. Meat Hook just likes to use a hook to steal meat.
Wait, why is he different from Sausage Stealer? Do they have a rivalry?
Well, he doesn't. I think he's not nearly as picky about it.
Yeah, like a child, a misbehaving child, for example. Meat Hook is going to come and swipe you this Christmas Eve.
You're made of meat, boy.
I'm not going to lie to you, there's going to be an incredible amount of child snatching later on in this episode.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Gosh.
And the last one is Candle Stealer, who follows children in order to steal their candles, which he eats.
They're all just thieves. It cracks me up. They all just steal different things.
I find it fascinating, though, that you'd go through all the trouble of coming up with 13 Christmas trolls and then just not bother to flesh out the characters at all.
At all.
I mean,
Seriously?
you probably started with like really good intentions. They were all going to be really like deep and like individuals. And then you got like 3 in and you're like, fuck, this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. This one licks spoons and that one can like lick bowls. What else is in a kitchen?
Really?
Yeah, really, though.
They never got past the kitchen.
That one steals sausages. Mommy's tired, children. Please go to bed. Look, and if they wanted some help, they could have just asked me, because I've taken some time to come up with some of my own Yule lads.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, what did you
Tell
come
me
up
what
with?
you think of them, and if you think they could take off. So the first one I've come up with is Racist Alan, who sneaks into the window of your house and mimics your voice while shouting something bigoted. Pesky little prank to play.
That's a good one, I think.
There's Morbidington, who keeps on asking you why you haven't achieved anything you wanted to do this year, and keeps on mentioning how lovely your ex-girlfriend was. And the last Christmas Yule lad that I've come up with is Michael Bublé, who, let's face it, can't be trusted.
Well, he's so dreamy.
He's too charming.
Yeah.
No one should be that charming.
He's not even that great, is he? Let's face it.
He's great. I don't care what you say.
Look, if you thought the Yule lads were bad, though, wait until you meet their parents.
Oh my
They
gosh.
have parents? I don't believe they have parents. How could they behave this way if they had parents raising them
Parents are probably
properly?
worse.
Their parents are indeed worse. Grillia and Lepaldi. Grillia is the mother of the lads, while she started life in literature, at least in the 13th century prose Edda, a work compiled in 1220 by Strawny Strollerson, which is an incredibly Scandinavian name.
It really is. It really is. I think that's a Scandinavian name right there.
It's a really good source of Germanic mythology, if anyone's interested in the prose Edda, just in case. And it's Grillia. In it, Grillia is a giant, but it's not until the 17th century that she becomes a beloved part of the Christmas story.
Oh.
She plays the part of a beggar who walks around town trying to get parents to give her their naughty children so she can take them back to a cottage and eat them.
Yep.
Oh, lovely. Christmas really, just all the way back through time, is just a way to try to get kids to fucking behave themselves.
Yeah,
100%. And I
really
think we need to
is.
get back to it, because coal doesn't make sense anymore, you know? Although maybe it's because climate change is becoming more a problem, like threatening them with coal is a bigger thing. Like, no, I don't want to contribute. I want my carbon footprint low. I'm like, well, don't be a dick this year, kid.
Yeah.
But back then it was always based on like, if you misbehave, you will be eaten and torn apart by some hell beast.
Yeah, it's true.
And like that'd get my ass in line.
Yeah.
For sure.
I also haven't done the research, but I think Grillia, because it's Germanic mythology, I think she's probably where we get the witch that ate Hansel and Gretel from.
Oh,
Probably.
interesting. I bet you're right. That's really interesting.
The story of her has evolved into one, though, where she's just checking to see who's been naughty and who's been nice. And if you've been naughty, she puts you in a big sack and takes you back to a cave and eats you in a stew. That's not so bad. And what's most annoying is that even fucking Grillia has someone to love at Christmas.
Aww.
She's been married 3 times. It has to be true love, because they even have a cat. The Yule Cat.
Oh,
They have a cat? Okay, I'm being won over now.
The Yule Cat who lurks the snowy countryside looking for children who aren't wearing new clothes. Any guess as to what the Yule Cat does if you aren't wearing new clothes?
Oh, God.
He eats them?
The clothes of the kids.
Rips their head off.
He will eat you straight up. Loved it.
Now, this seems like it's not fair for people who can't afford a new outfit at Christmas.
Seriously.
That's kind of a good point, yeah.
Like, oh, those aren't some fresh kicks you got there. You don't have the new J's. This guy's dead. Like, that's not right. I can't help that we couldn't afford new clothes all the time as kids, man. Single mom.
I guess it's a way for parents to be like, oh, you don't want to wear this nice new outfit I just bought you for Christmas Eve service? Well, if you don't put it on, that Yule Cat's going to come and tear you to shreds. Do you want that? Then put on the dress.
That's exactly what it is. That's 100%.
Yeah, you're totally right.
So now that we've covered some of the more pleasant and wistful characters of Christmas cheer, it's time to have a look at some of the more fun and sinister Christmas critters.
Oh my gosh, more sinister?
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
There's Barbagazi.
Is that like Baba Yaga?
They're little Swiss dwarf-like creatures. They cost 3 in a blue and have an ETB effect, making all other players discuss. No, it's Magic the Gathering. Sorry, it's Magic the Gathering joke.
Wait, what?
Little Magic the Gathering joke, because I'm real cool. No, Barbagazi, they have huge flat feet and white fur all over their body. I liking it. Icicles for hair, and they hide underground until it snows. And actually, it's pretty cute because they try to avoid humans, but sometimes help shepherds find lost sheep. And they also like to help dig people out of avalanches. They're festive critters.
Oh, that's nice.
Some friendly little Jack Frost elves.
And then they eat them.
If they aren't wearing new outfits.
That's human skin they're wearing, I believe.
It's adorable. Yeah, little
That one's
tiny
nice.
little,
I like that one.
little Yeti folk that help you
I
out.
guess they're not real, though, because if they were, then maybe we wouldn't have had a Dyatlov Pass incident to talk about.
Ooh, that's real. That's some real stuff right there.
I made myself sad with that one.
Oh,
When I think about the Dyatlov Pass, I do remember how just terribly sad that story is.
it was
It's pretty
rough,
sad.
that one.
On the other hand, there's Frau Pashata. I'm not pronouncing any of these correctly. She's the Christmas witch who has a goose foot. So there's that for you, Nick.
Oh,
Just one?
Apparently, it was believed that goose fat, by the way, was something that helped witches cast flying enchantment spells. So that's some information for you. While she likes to give presents to all the good, hard-working Slavic children, she also enjoys punishing the idle children.
You know.
they deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get a job.
Yes, she rips out their intestines and replaces them with rocks.
Yes. I've heard of this
Wow.
one.
That's
I love
awesome.
the amount of work that must take. Do you think she arranges like pebbles like an intestinal tract?
Probably.
She's like, go ahead, eat something. See how that works out for you, pal. I'm going to be jumping rope over here.
But yeah, be a
Goddamn
couch
innards.
potato. See what eating all those potato chips does to you now.
You like donuts, do you? Now, if you eat all the donuts you can eat. Sorry, that's Simpsons. Is that a Simpsons or Simpsons reference? Hans Trapp is a pretty famous one. Hans Trapp, anyone?
Nope.
Hands trap.
Hans Trapp, whose legend has it was a rich Satanist who was excommunicated for the church for, my guess would be, being a badass Satanist.
Probably.
Being too damn cool.
He goes off into the forest and eats children who fall for his scarecrow disguise in northern France.
No, I'm not going anywhere near a scarecrow
Yeah,
ever.
like,
Why would
did
I
that
ever
help?
go near a scarecrow?
Yeah.
How did that disguise help him get children? Do children actually go near scarecrows? Am I the only one who is
No.
afraid of them?
You're not the only one.
No,
That would
and
be.
what constitutes like falling for his costume? Is it like if you walk by and you're like, oh, there's a scarecrow, he's like, got their ass, but they don't say anything? Like, what does it mean to fall for it?
I think if you walk past and you haven't said, oh, there's Hans Trapp in a scarecrow outfit, you've fallen for it.
I mean, what happens when they fall for it? Does he murder them?
Is it like it?
No, he's it's not that bad because in northern France he's one of Santa's little helpers, and while Santa gives the presents to the good kids, Hans Trapp's job is just to scare the shit out of naughty children.
That's fun.
It's fair.
Goodness me.
Okay, this is a good one. There's Kali Kanzotroy.
Good name.
That's incorrect as well. This one was Greek. They're Greek goblins who come to town during the 12 days of Christmas to be dickheads. They're very much like the Yule lads, but they are both a bit more evil and a bit more dum-dum. Because the way that to get rid of them is to leave a colander outside your house. And the reason is that they can't count past 2. So they spend the whole night trying to count the holes of the colander and forget to come into the house to be evil.
Oh, I mean, that's
Those are
That's
dumb.
good to know.
Those are dumb goblins.
I've got some colanders. I've got a couple doors. I can just prepare properly.
Choose any damn door you want.
Also, apparently, if you were born on a Saturday, you can kind of do a whole sixth sense thing, which means you're able to talk to them and see them.
Well, okay, I'm immediately looking up what day of the week my birthday was. Hold on.
I need to find out. Because if I can talk to these dudes, I'm going to find out about their day.
Yeah.
It was a Tuesday, so I don't get to talk to them.
Sucks to be Paula.
Rough.
I was born on a Sunday.
So close.
Maybe I can, once in a while pick up a word or two. They're like, nope, yeah, They're just trying to count calendar holes.
They're still on 2. They're still on 2.
Still on 2. I got 2. I know what 2 is.
There's, in God's country, and by that I mean almighty Wales, we have Mary Lwyd, a skeleton mare. And you might be saying, skeleton mare? Put down the crack cocaine, Grandma. But
I just heard about this one.
Shouts out to Lynn, yeah.
So Mary Lwyd comes back from the dead every year to break into your home, and the only way to get rid of her is to wait for New Year's Day, where you have to do a ceremonial rap battle.
Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yes.
What? You do a rap battle?
Yes.
Well, okay, so what it is it's a rhymed battle of wits, but that's also essentially exactly the same as a rap battle, but in Welsh.
Who do you do the rhymed battle of wits against the zombie horse?
Oh, yeah.
Against the Christmas pony zombie skeleton.
Whoa.
Or it gets you.
What does she rap about? Just like hay and hell?
Hey and nay go together. Already got dumb rhymes.
Hey.
The most famous of all monsters of Christmas, though, other than capitalism,
You satanic sluts.
is good old-fashioned Krampus.
Yeah, Mike's a
Yes.
huge Krampus fan.
Krampus.
Krampus, your friendly local Christmas demon, he's become most commonly known as the companion of St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas, or St. Nick, who was a 4th century Turkish monk. Well, he's from Myra, right, which is in Turkey now, but that doesn't matter, geography. And among other things, he was associated with being kind and giving. Long story short, after the Reformation, Catholic saints weren't very popular, as you can imagine.
Shit went down.
In England, people who wanted to pray to or remember St. Nicholas started to rename him Father Christmas. Anyway, St. Nick has a demon friend called Krampus.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute. Why does a saint have a friend who's a demon?
Karma or yin yang?
Isn't that always like they're sort of...
So you are now sainted for being such a great human, and now you get your familiar. It's a little demon who follows you. I'm like, never mind.
Krampus,
Thank you so
I
much.
am Krampus.
I give back the sainthood. Thank you.
I'll just be Nick
No thanks.
from, this town.
I do not want a pet demon. So I will just go back to being a regular person. No one needs to say any prayers to me, light me any candles, hang a little medallion of me anywhere. Not worth it to have a demon following me around.
The problem
for the
is,
rest
as
of
soon as you say that, Krampus was in the room, and he kind of goes, oh.
And then you feel bad
And he's like,
for
his
him.
little horns like click-clack on the edge of the door. He goes,
Don't make a demon
I'll
cute.
be going then.
Okay.
No one wants Krampus. I was just going to eat the kids who were mean.
Looks like old Krampus is going back to hell.
Okay, well now y'all are making me feel guilty.
Good. This is my companion. I'm named after this man. It's not even a joke. I'm actually named after Jolly Old St. Nicholas.
You are actually,
Yeah,
aren't you?
I am.
That's the thing. It's pretty exciting.
That's how I got my
You
name.
need to get a black cat and name it Krampus then.
Apparently.
And take it with you
Oh, good call.
everywhere.
Krampus.
Oh, that's actually a really good name for a black cat.
Yeah.
Krampus really does look like a devil, though, like a lot. He's got horns, cloven hoofs and fangs, and a super long devil tongue. And his favourite festive activity is whipping naughty children with birch branches. And while he also has a sack that he carries around on his back, just like Santa, right? Only Krampus doesn't have gifts in there. Oh no. Instead, he likes to fill his sack with naughty children and drag them to hell and then drown them.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, interesting. Drown them to hell, then drown them. That's interesting.
Drags them to hell to drown, yeah.
Wow, okay.
So while the original St. Nicholas died on December 6th, December 5th is all about Krampus.
Yeah.
That's Krampus Nacht.
Yeah.
Krampus Night,
Oh, yeah.
where people might dress up like Krampus, run around the town to scare people.
It's like the Purge?
Yeah.
That's really what it sounds like, yeah.
Sometimes they assault bystanders. And I found this one quote from a tourist who was at the Krampus Laugh, which is the Krampus Run, and it's actually from a Mental Floss article of all places, but it's fun, so bear with me. The narrow streets in the old city section of Salzburg were packed with pedestrians as the Krampus stomped through. Many people were caught unaware and reacted with terror. Some would flee and try to seek refuge in a shop or restaurant, only to be pursued by a determined Krampus.
I hate it.
With so many easy targets, we again managed to escape largely unharmed.
Largely unharmed.
At times we were being chased, jostled and struck, but compared with the brutality we witnessed, it was obvious we had been spared the full brunt of what Krampus could muster.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This is horrible. How can this be a sanctioned activity? I hate it.
It's probably not sanctioned. My guess is that it's not, the city's not like, all right, it's Krampus night, so everyone board up.
I look, there is clearly actually a war on Christmas, but it is not what a bunch of Christians think it is. It is all from the beginning of time. It is all these trolls and demons who come out to ruin
Krampus.
a lovely, beautiful, snowy, depending on where you are in the world, holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. We can all get behind Sausage Snatcher.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's cool.
Well, you don't want to be in front of him.
Whoever's dressed up as Krampus, that's just someone who wants to go around and like live out their sociopathic like
100%.
dream. And just like, I'm just going to go beat a bunch of people. You're like, that's uncool. Like, there are rules. If you're to visit a haunted house at Universal, people jump out at you, but you know they're not going to grab you.
And
And
I
that's
can't even
why-
handle that scenario.
Right, but at least you go in entering knowing that
I don't
there's
go
a
in.
line. Oh, Paula's gonna go in.
Paula's
It's one of my
going in.
dreams is to go to
Fuck.
haunted house of the fall.
No,
You're going in.
no, I'm not. Not with you lot. I love y'all, but I do not trust you in
What
that
do you
scenario.
mean? I would protect you.
Thank
We
you,
would
Nick.
create a protective barrier around
Yeah, there'd be
you.
there'd be a bubble, a Matt, Mike, Nick bubble around you.
Yeah.
I want to cry just thinking about it.
Always use you as what's commonly known as a human shield. And one thing about Krampus, who, while yes, is a terrible and hilarious Christmas demon, but also I think he's an important part of Christmas. The yang to the saccharine yin of good tidings and tinsel. And that's that there was one group of people who hated Krampus so much that they outlawed him. And that's the actual fascists of 1930s Austria.
Great. So now I'm a Nazi because I hate Krampus. Perfect.
Just saying.
Because they saw Krampus as an anti-Christian symbol and called for a boycott. So for no other reason, I urge you to accept a bit of Krampus into your Christmas this year.
Fuck the Nazis.
Fuck the
I'm so
Nazis.
mad that they're taking
Yeah.
this from me.
Gosh, they ruin everything.
You need to use Krampus, Paula, and turn him against the Nazis. Use Krampus as your holy weapon against Nazism, man. If for nothing else. And then Krampus can go away when the Nazis are gone.
The initial inspiration for this episode came to me one night as I stared into the precipice of oblivion. And by that I mean did some research for an episode of Death by Monsters. Hello, welcome to Death by Monsters.
Yeah, check it out. Rated on iTunes.
Please, for God's sake, dude, just tell a friend. I just don't care who that friend is. Make a friend and tell them, please.
Tell them to rate 5 stars for Krampus.
I'm working so hard, people. Thank you for listening. Early this year, we did an episode on the Dyatlov Pass, and one theory there was that maybe they all got super high by accident from eating a bunch of mushrooms. That's not what happened, but you can go listen to part 2 of that if you want to find out more.
But not part 1.
Well, you can listen to both, but it's pretty sad as well.
I mean, the part 2 will make more sense if you listen to part 1 first. I
Yeah.
will say that.
Well, if that's the case, you probably start at episode 1 because you'll get all our fun inside jokes.
Also, to just start at the Bigfoot episode, work your way. Dyatlov Pass happens at episode 6, so you only have a few. Just
Yeah.
binge it during your holiday travels.
Exactly. Guys, such good suggestions here by Death Monster. Buy some merch. I don't know have a good way to put it in there.
A lot of the on-running jokes did start in episode 1 as well, which is quite funny.
Yeah,
They
we're
really
very good
did.
at
We
this.
leaped on some things real fast.
Roughest.
But those particular mushrooms, Amanita muscaria to some, fly agaric to many, but to everyone else, they're just the poster mushroom for poisonous mushroom. Big red and white things that...
Oh, like Toad?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just what everyone thinks when you think of poisonous
The
mushrooms.
Alice in Wonderland
Oh.
specials, yeah.
Well, Mike.
No way. My bad.
Fly agaric is the mushroom you always see associated with lots of strange and magical creatures, be that garden gnomes and fairies, to Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
Mike?
I ruined it.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Mario.
I said Toad.
Yeah, you said Toad.
And you didn't.
Paula
whatever.
fucked it up first, and I just piggybacked since we were there anyway.
Oh, you meant that Toad. And also, Paula, are you upset that you didn't ruin it?
Yes. My goal, I didn't think it was a secret, was to predict all of your jokes
That's true.
before they happen. That's how I win the podcast. Because, yes, this is a competition.
Yeah. I'm usually in third, so it works out for everybody.
But there is a pretty convincing case to be made that Christmas, as we know it, was fundamentally shaped by these sweet, sweet mushrooms. And for legal reasons, I do not recommend eating fly algoric or even making them into some forbidden tea. You are probably not an expert on mushrooms, which means those mushrooms you're eating probably aren't fly algoric. If you're going to do drugs, don't be an idiot about it. Always be sure what you're taking, because it's not fun if you die.
I mean, yeah, I'll stand by that.
Just don't. But like, also, don't do drugs, kids.
I mean, yeah,
I feel like one of us has to say it.
I mean,
now
yeah.
all points of view are
We have a lot
covered.
of messages for kids in this one. Santa is dead and don't do drugs.
Yeah, it's true.
Santa was a mushroom and do not eat him. So, Mushroom Santa.
Yes. I've been waiting.
Why is it that we bring in pine trees into our houses at Christmas?
Because
Is it because the fly algaric, which grows pretty much exclusively under pine trees, under the trees normally where you'd find Christmas presents? And that's always been the way ever since people went looking for those freaky mushrooms.
Yeah, because that's where you find it. That's like the ultimate present was find something you could just trip mega balls on. Yeah.
And now we're all just trying to, like, from an evolutionary standpoint, we're all just trying to get back to that feeling of total euphoria
That first
with
high.
just commercialism.
Yeah, you know?
trying to chase that high.
Yeah.
trying
But
to
the
chase that
latest
feeling.
iPhone under your Christmas tree isn't going to do it for you.
No, you got to inject something.
Nothing can replicate the sweet, sweet high of an actual drug, says the person who has never done them.
Say with me. I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah, you're both the most straight edge people here. Well, Mike is too. You had your time.
Had my time and I moved on because they were too delicious.
I don't want to get too bogged down in mushroom Jesus theories, which I could. Christ meaning the anointed one and mass meaning the bread eaten annually by the Egyptians, and how all the sacred ceremonies were pretty much people just getting really high on mushrooms. You can get very, very, very lost down those kind of wormholes if you want to go and do that. But most Christmas stuff that comes from the pagan hemisphere really does seem to have a lot to do with mushrooms.
Really?
They like to party. We went over this, you know, the pagans, man. Big beards, doing mushrooms, moving stones, making henges.
Making hinges.
What the fuck is a henge?
It's exactly what it is.
Why is a henge? I've never seen that word used in any other way. Is it like a henge a row of bushes? Like, could you be like, oh, it's a
that's a
rosemary
hedge.
henge. But that's what I'm saying. Did something just get
henge?
messed up at one point?
Is a prehistoric monument consisting of a circle of stone or wooden uprights.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
that's right. I think they just named it after that, and they're just defining Stonehenge. Why did they go with henge? Someone
It
was
is
trying
a
to say
stone.
hedge,
That is a
and they had a
henge.
thick accent.
It's literally-
oh, that's a hedge over there.
It's literally
And it
a
was like-
henge made of stone, and it's just kind of synonymous. Like, you know, it's like a Band-Aid is just a brand, but you'll call any sort of adhesive medical
think
strip
so,
a
man.
Band-Aid now. It's a Stonehenge, but there's other henges. It's just back when you didn't have anything other than rocks. You had nothing to do. There was no internet. SpongeBob was years away. You're like, I'm going to
Couple
stack
years.
some rocks, and that's it.
It's a type of Neolithic earthwork.
I mean, there's lots of ideas as well that the henges aren't actually semicircles, they're actually full circles, that it's actually all to do with a global snake religion. But, I mean, we don't need to get
Let's
into
get
that.
into that. That sounds awesome.
Sounds
Global
like Death by
snake
Monsters
religion?
2020 to me.
Anyone else want to get into the global snake? I mean, we could go deep.
I do. Mike, you got a birthday episode coming. We'll get a
chosen.
global snake religion.
Please don't give me global snake religion, I beg you, because I'd have to make a slideshow. It would be a whole thing. To put it geographically simplistically, I'm going to refer to most of this as Siberian, but I can't tell you that's totally true. Such as the traditions of the Sami people of northern Scandinavia, in places like, I don't know, Lapland, for example.
Was that supposed to mean something to
I
us?
think it was.
Lapland, Christmas. It's all connected. See the string in my mind?
Oh, Lapland. Like you sit in Santa's lap.
Oh, I
Damn it!
I
Is
am
this like a city?
starting
That-
to see clarity in the ravings of a madman. That is Matthew Jude.
Yeah.
He's like that one meme of Charlie Day standing in front of the big.
Yeah. That's his
It's
life.
all connected.
Well, actually, with the global snake religion, it is all connected, and it's a pre-Diluvian religion.
Because the snake's mouth is eating its own tail, and you see how I mean? It's this whole big thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how they used to think. It's a religion of rebirth. Because that's how they used to think snakes fornicated. They thought that, it's
Sorry, I thought we weren't getting into that this
They
episode.
ate their own asses, and that made new snakes.
Look it up.
Snakes are freaky, dude.
If anyone wants to YouTube this, message me and I'll tell you some good places to go.
Just go to YouTube and put in the search bar snake eating own ass.
No, don't do that.
See what happens.
We cannot condone that particular search.
See what happens.
Don't do drugs and don't Google that. That's all we ask.
But if you do drugs, definitely Google that.
It's like, but definitely don't do drugs and then Google that.
Shamans were all-round wise folk of these communities, and they definitely had a tradition of bringing these mushrooms to people in winter. But you can't just walk through the door of a house in northern Lapland when it's covered in 10 foot of snow.
You have to go in through the chimney.
Get the fuck out.
That's why it's more usual to climb in through the chimney.
Oh, get out of my life. This is amazing.
To share these gifts of mushrooms, and these shaman also dressed somewhat like their most powerful medicine. And to this day, we can see Sami shamans dressed in red clothes with white polka dots and trim on them, like Santa. Yeah. And that whole Santa is red because of Coca-Cola isn't true, okay?
Santa's not red because of Coca-Cola.
That's a lot of people think. They think that Coca-Cola invented Santa.
What the fuck?
There's a whole thing where everyone's like, well, Santa was green before Coca-Cola. It's not true. What? Santa is often dressed in greens, reds, and even blues, and very often just wearing furs of stuff. He's always been... that whole Coca-Cola thing is not true, right?
You can see him in the nativity scene. He's wearing red there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one bringing a sweet RC car to Jesus.
Kid's gonna love
next
this.
to the myrrh and the Yule.
I'll tell you what, though. I did see when I was at our friend Dave's house, I saw that there's like a remote control car that goes up the walls now. That's pretty sweet.
What?
If Santa brought me one of those, I'd be pretty into it.
That sounds crazy. Remote control cars are probably so much cooler than they were when we were kids. I just haven't
pretty
looked at them
cool
in
when
like
we were
10 years.
kids.
I never saw the appeal.
They weren't nearly as cool when you got one. You're like, this is not actually that fun.
I had a remote control car and I really, really liked. Well, I guess the reason I liked it so much because I had one and my brother had one, and we could fight them like robot wars.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's awesome.
Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent when I was actually trying to get to a crux. Hold on. But wait, there's more! When you pick the mushrooms from under the pine tree, first you need to prepare them. So the way that was done was by hanging them in the trees. You know, like
Christmas ornaments.
You know, like how we hang Christmas ornaments on Christmas trees today.
Whoa.
That wasn't a win, Paula. I don't count that as a win.
I win.
But if you wanted to dry the mushrooms, you'd have to put them in sock-like sacks, then hang them above the fireplace.
Like stockings.
You are kidding me.
Get out of here, dude. I'm waiting for the mistletoe one. You're just getting just drug-infused orgies when you're underneath them.
Seriously, every family back, starting December 1st, just turned into Breaking Bad. They just opened up a drug factory. They're like, the long night's coming.
All the kids are just
Let's
chopping
prepare.
up mushrooms.
Yeah. You can't eat them until the 25th.
And you would have to dry these mushrooms normally before you ate them because it increases their potency. And then there's the Illuminati lizard aliens. Nope.
Go into that more.
Reindeer.
Got it.
Other than reindeer being from that whole general area, there aren't any that fly. But you know what makes you feel a bit like you're flying? That's right. Mushrooms.
Damn sure. Did they give them to the reindeer?
Did the red mushrooms get stuck on the reindeer's noses? And that's how Rudolph came about?
Oh! They start snorting like cocaine?
Matthew.
God damn it.
He was loading up a good one.
I'm not sorry. Keep going.
So while that's a bit of a stretch, it is true that some reindeer can get very addicted to these mushrooms. And a great way to consume them without getting you sick yourself is to drink reindeer urine, right? And after they've eaten them.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
In fact, reindeer are so addicted to these mushrooms, or can be, that they will then eat the snow when you urinate.
Oh. What a horrible cycle.
That is real.
And everyone keeps on getting high. And in some cases, it really actually increases the potency and purity of the high itself. And what do reindeer do when they're high? Yeah, they jump up and down a lot and frolic around the snow so they look like they're flying.
They play reindeer games.
Oh, God, I love it.
Everyone joins in.
And what does a reindeer look like? Do you know what? This whole next paragraph is about, yes, when a reindeer eats a mushroom, it kind of looks like it's got a red nose. Yeah.
I'm sorry I ruined your whole paragraph.
Also, did you know all the reindeer are female because they've still got their antlers?
What?
All the reindeer, like this, that pull Santa's sled, would probably have been female.
Badass, man.
Cool. Good
Just
for them.
more emotional labor on the backs of women.
All the dudes are sitting back
Sure.
being like, all right, cool, keep pulling things.
Let's have Santa get all the glory while we pull his fucking sled full of presents
Mrs. Claus running the shop, Santa's not
across
doing
the
shit all
world
year.
in 24 hours. You think we get holiday pay for this shit? No, it's just expected of us. And we just do it, and no one appreciates it. And so, yeah,
People
you know what? When
appreciate
I'm
it.
done, yeah, I'm going to have some weirdo mushroom tea and, relax a little.
No wonder they're so disgruntled, getting high all the time.
I'm going to have a bubble bath, and it's going to be full of
So
mushrooms.
no, Rudolph, you don't get to come and join us and lead the pack. And rant.
I was just thinking it was kind of cool that like ladies could get gainfully employed back in the day, but you kind of cracked the magic.
Don't you mean rainfully employed?
Hey!
I've been enjoying these puns this episode, so you can all just kind of give me a break. This was a lot of weird research.
I bet.
There's a lot of mythology as well I don't want to get too deep into because it's going to take a whole series. But Mushroom Santa is a theory I can fundamentally get behind.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from any other things that we celebrate at Christmas, and it's fully understood, as we said at the top of the show, why we celebrate Jesus on December 25th. But the pagan side of Christmas, for sure, in my opinion, is a bit more magical.
It does kind of make sense, though. If you're trying to get people to get into a new idea, you let them get just shit ripped first.
Yeah.
Then you pop in and be like, hey, this is baby that died for your sins. They said, all right, I'll trip out on that. That's a cool idea. Right on. I'm into it. And then it's just you plant the seed while they're just whacked the fuck out. And like back away. And then the next day they're like, hey, man.
Let that nugget ruminate for a bit.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense.
And then when Easter comes around, you hit him with it again. You're like, hey, remember that?
You're like, okay, so I get it dies. I'm going to counter with rabbit eggs. And they're like, we can make it all work. It's fine. Let's bring it together. It's cool. It's cool.
Synergy.
You can still do the magic eggs, but just do this extra bit, and we're cool.
Yeah.
Come to church,
It's kind of people coming together, which is what it should be about. That's the holidays right there.
I love the holiday.
This does. I'm into the mushroom Santa thing.
It makes sense.
Just because like a lot of our Christmas things are bizarre. Like I've never thought of like why do we have a sock on the mantle and why is this tree? And I'm like, yeah, it all sort of makes sense when you put it that way.
It's a series of pretty amazing coincidences of things related to Mushroom Santa that are just what we do for Christmas. It's pretty. I mean, you can't. How can you like ignore that?
Yeah.
It's just a shaman dressed like that coming to your house in December to bring you a treat down the chimney that looks like Santa. And it's just, I just feel like there's so much evidence for Mushroom Santa. Although there are lots of information out there that tries to refute and debunk Mushroom Santa in its entirety. And I certainly don't believe that every aspect of Christmas or the pagan commercialized signs of Christmas that we celebrate is to do with mushrooms just because it's fun and funny to do with mushrooms, right? But I really do think that we have to get these traditions from somewhere, and the fact of the geography of where these people are, that's where we get Christmas from. We like Scandinavia, then moving down to Germanic mythologies.
Yeah.
And that's how Christmas kind of comes around.
And again, like as we said, like even if this whole thing is true, it doesn't take away from anyone celebrating anything if you're a Christian or not or whatever. It's like it doesn't change any of that, ultimately. It's fun, it's a fun time of holidays and giving, and it's like, it can just be that.
Yeah, and maybe people were just tripping out on mushrooms more often. You'd have less uncles getting drunk and saying that, like, you don't make sense, your careers. What is it? What's this acting thing you're doing? There's like less of that. So I'm like, it seems good. It's about family coming together and like, especially in Scandinavia, when it's just truly dark out all the time. And you're like, we need to just build a fire, make sure we're safe, and just forget about the darkness for a while. That's beautiful.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me.
Popping them shrooms.
I was going to say Silent Night, Krampus fight.
Merry freaking Christmas, happy holidays, and happiest holiday of all, Nick's birthday.
Bye.
Was it too Christmassy for you? Because usually you're pretty sensitive about that.
I love Christmas. I hate my birthday. Well, I love my
Merry
birthday.
Christmas, happy birthday. Here's
Yeah,
one present.
I have the worst birthday time. I mean, I guess being like on Christmas would be worse, but like it's 4 days from Christmas, so like having a birthday party was always a huge pain in the ass because I had to have it like 3 weeks before my birthday or else no one could come. I'm on the winter solstice, which means I have the least amount of sunlight from the entire year on my birthday.
Geez, somebody's all grumpy.
I've always wanted a pool party for my birthday. I've never been able to have one. I really
Go
dislike.
to Australia for your birthday.
Say, like, you can
That's what I need to do. I really need to
all
do
of these problems. You can get the most
Dude,
sunlight.
I'm trying to move to New Zealand. Don't even tell me.
go.
Like, yeah, so I actually really, really dislike when my birthday is.
And hey, you know what? If you're born the day before Halloween, like I am, you know what? If you have a friend like that, maybe don't plan your own Halloween party for the weekend of their birthday. Maybe let them do a birthday thing for once in their fucking life instead of having to plan their whole birthday around everyone else's stupid Halloween parties.
I'm just like, it's kind of cold on my birthday. Sort of, generally.
January 11th.
Generally, my big beef is like no one can remember my birthday, even though it's just the number one a bunch. It's 1/11.
That's true.
Like, it's one number. It's just, you just choose a number and go.
January 11th, yep.
Hey, you know what, though? That sounds like complaining. But we aren't ungrateful. We're incredibly grateful to have spent the second half of this year with you, our Death by Monsters listeners. Thank you so much for your support of the first, 6 months of this podcast. It has made my year significantly better, and I'm going to speak for Nick and Matthew. I'll let Mike speak for himself and say that I bet it's made their year a lot better too. So we hope that we have brought some light into your year. And this has been our holiday episode. This has been our Nick's birthday episode. We are Death by Monsters, and you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter, DeathXMonsters. We have a Facebook group, Death by Monsters Podcast, I think is the Facebook group. We have an Instagram. Come check that out. We have a website that actually will also link you to all these things, deathbymonsters.com. It will also take you to our merch store, where you can get t-shirts or hoodies or mugs or whatever you want. You can send them as a gift. You can gift them to yourself. And that really supports the show, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike, for being here for this episode. I will say
Yes,
that.
thank you so much, Mike, for being here.
I
Oh my
didn't want him
gosh.
here. It's my
Why
birthday,
didn't I
but
say
whatever.
that?
It's okay. You're getting grateful, and I'm grateful for y'all as a show. Thank you for letting me play around with you once in a while, and for making it as the person who I haven't rated the show yet.
Michael Lee Murphy.
One of these days, I'm going to iTunes store that shit. I just don't know
Get
how.
out of the recording
What an
booth.
The point is, I'm grateful to have you every week on Monday. I listen, and it's fantastic. And I feel like I get to joke around with some friends. So thank you for all that you've done this year. As the token fan in the room.
If you were a fan, you would have rated, I feel like.
Yeah, true.
You know, it's a great way to punish Mike for that. Buy some merch.
Buy some merch and rate 5 stars. Show me the way. Show me what I don't know how to do myself.
You got some merch, Mike? Nope.
And one last thing is that if you have a home strange story, you can always send it to our Death by Monsters podcast at gmail.com. Any of your weird stories. Were you attacked by a colander counting troll? Maybe.
Ooh.
Were you walking home one dark and dreary night and you saw a goose that wasn't there when you looked before?
Tell us about it.
And he turned to you and said, I can read your mind.
Oh, definitely tell us about that.
Did you once fall down a hole and then wake up in a vat?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Mikey just rated us on iTunes.
3 stars. Room to improve.
Thanks, Mike.
3 stars. Those endings go on a bit.
I was going to say, this is the longest ending I think we've ever done.
And we literally had a discussion like, man, we should trim up those intros and outros, and we didn't.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.